Hi! Hello, and welcome to the Daily Almanac for March 23rd. So, let's get started. This day in history! On this day in history, March 23rd, 1775, Patrick Henry called for America's independence from Britain, telling the Second Virginia Convention, "Give me liberty or give me death." After his speech, the delegates to the convention voted to support the American Revolution. Also, on this day in 1942, early in World War II, the U.S. government began moving Japanese Americans from their West Coast homes to detention centers. Earlier that year, President Franklin D. Roosevelt had signed an order requiring this action. The camps were overcrowded and provided poor living conditions. It was a shameful action by our government against its own people, and it's very much regretted today. And on this day in 1965, America's first two-person spaceflight began as Gemini 3 blasted off from Cape Kennedy with astronauts Virgil I. Grisham and John W. Young aboard. Young took a corned beef sandwich into orbit instead of eating the dehydrated space food they were supposed to test. This was discovered when breadcrumbs were observed in the capsule after the flight. Today on Word Power, we're going to talk about the saying, "in the limelight." Now, if you're in the limelight, it means that you're at the center of attention. You might say, "My cousin Earl loves to be in the limelight. He isn't happy unless everyone's watching him." The saying comes from a practice in the mid-1800s in the theater. When an actor or acrobat was on stage, they would have a spotlight on them. But instead of the big electric spotlights we use today, the stage manager would heat up lime until it made a bright light. Then they would draw the audience's attention to the person on the stage by directing the light onto them.
Ooh, extremes.
Today on Extremes, we ask, what is the smallest butterfly on the planet? The answer is the dwarf blue butterfly. The wings of these tiny creatures can be as small as 1/2 inch across, which is 1.27 centimeters. That means that their wings are about the width of a standard-sized paperclip, and that's pretty tiny. These little butterflies live in South Africa.
Health tips.
Do you think mucus is yucky? Most people do, but mucus wouldn't be produced in your body if it wasn't important. The mucus in your nose helps trap germs. When you get sick and your nose starts running, it's because your body has produced extra mucus in order to trap and flush out the germs. When you've got a runny nose, don't sniff the germs back in. Help your body get rid of the germs by blowing them out of your nose and into a tissue. Sharing power between the national government and the state governments allows us to enjoy the benefits of diversity and unity. For example, the national government may set up a uniform currency system. Could you imagine having 50 different types of coins, each with a different value? By setting up a national policy, the system is fair to everyone, and the states do not have to bear the heavy burden of regulating their currency. On the other hand, issues such as creating public schools have been left up to the individual states. The decisions on how to run the public schools depends on the state's history, needs, and philosophies. Well, that's all the time we have left today for Daily Almanac. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope to see you tomorrow.